Hey, welcome back. We're still working on the main screen for our Doodle Jump game that we are trying to follow along and try to recreate. But we're going to be doing the monsters, the little tiny monsters on the main screen of the Doodle Jump game for this video.
Yeah, they look like little tiny bugs, and if you forgot what they look like, you can always re-download Doodle Jump and check it out for yourself.
Alright, and welcome back to our workstation. Here we have Photoshop open, and we are going to create the little bugs that are found on the main menu screen of Doodle Jump. So we're going to start by creating a new file. So we'll go File, New, and we'll leave it at US paper size because this isn't going to be the final version. We're going to transfer these bugs to our sprite sheet, so it doesn't really matter. We ultimately want to draw them pretty big so that the resolution is high quality, and then when we transfer it to the sprite sheet, we'll resize it to the right size. So we've now created our new file, and we're going to double click on our layer so we can delete that white background and have transparency. So we'll create a new layer and then delete this old one. Now, just a little spiel on the bugs that we're going to be drawing. My personal opinion of what Doodle Jump is trying to do with these little bugs is really just fill space. So they're trying to make their main menu screen look really interesting, and if you didn't have the bugs, you'd have, a title, a spaceship, Doodle Jump, he's jumping on a platform, you'll have a little black hole, and then a couple buttons, and it would overall be pretty empty aside from those things. And so just to add a little more flair to their main menu screen, they put in these little bugs. And so what we're going to do is make little bugs for our main menu. So we'll get our brush tool and we'll size it down. If you click the brackets or the curly braces on your keyboard, the buttons for it, it can resize your brush. So that's just a hotkey, a little tip on how to use Photoshop and use it well. So now we're going to select our black brush color. Now we'll go down a little smaller size, and on the main menu screen they have about 5 different kinds of bugs, and each one's different. So we're gonna make our own little bugs, and they don't have to be exactly what Doodle Jump has, but I'm just gonna draw cool little shapes. Then I'll draw all the black first for each bug, and then we'll color them in after. So next we'll do a little circle one, and we'll do a square bug, and we'll do a squiggly bug. Yes, very squiggly. And then we'll do a triangle bug. So I want to put little eyes on them. I'll put one right here and here. Then this one will have another circle inside it, just one. And this one will leave blank. This one will just put one dot here, and we'll put lines on this one. Whoops. Let's get a smaller brush. Do little lines. Now we gotta add the legs. And then we'll put 2 legs on the bottom of this guy and 2 coming out the side. Then we'll put 6 legs on this guy. That almost looks like an eyeball. And we'll put 1 on each of the sides on this one, and this one we won't put any legs on. Now we're going to color them in, and what we'll do in order to do that is we'll create a new layer and we'll drag it behind the black outline. Now we'll select some crazy colors. We'll do some red. We'll color in this box dude red. Okay, now we'll select a yellow. Whoa. Right there. I'll color in the snake. Snake will be yellow. Now we'll get green for the triangle. We'll get blue for this guy. Whoa. Let's get a different blue. Let's get a light blue so that the outline shows up a little better. And finally, we're gonna go with a pink for the eyeball. Alright, those look pretty good. Now finally, what we're going to do is you're going to want to save the original file, as we've talked about in previous art assets. You want to save the actual Photoshop file, and it doesn't matter where you save it, but I would save all your Photoshop files in the same folder. Then we want to take all these guys, these little bugs, and add them to the sprite sheet that we've created. So we'll have to open up the sprite sheet. Let me find it real quick. There it is. Okay, now we go back to our project, and we're going to just select all, copy, go over to our sprite sheet, and then paste. Whoa, that didn't work. We gotta merge down. You might want to save your Photoshop file before you merge down, just so you can keep the layers separate. Then we'll select all, copy, and paste. There we go. Now we'll select all, and then Control T for transform. Then we'll go to the corner and hold Shift, drag it down till it's about a good size, and then we'll reposition them, and we'll space these individually a little better. So we'll use our marquee tool to select, then we'll use our move tool to move them, and we'll move the snake. Okay, now that we have them all evenly spaced out on our sprite sheet, we're gonna just save it as a PNG, and we can overwrite this sprite sheet in our game folder.
Welcome back. Let's decorate the background now with the little monsters that we created. Woo! Isn't that just so pretty?
Dear
now?
little bugs.
Yeah. Now the space is all filled up.
Yeah. And we hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure that you're following along and subscribe. Bye.